There once lived a fisherman named Elias. He lived in a small, sun-drenched coastal village, a place where the air tasted of salt and the days moved to the rhythm of the tides. Elias wasn't unhappy, but he was restless. Every morning, he took his small, worn-out boat, the Hope, out onto the deep blue water. Every afternoon, he returned with a moderate catch, enough for his family, enough to sell just a little bit. But every evening, he would sit on the docks, watching the bigger, newer trawlers come in. They belonged to the fishermen from the next town, men who brought back nets overflowing with silver fish, men who were clearly getting rich. Elias would sigh deeply. "If only I had a bigger boat," he'd mutter to the sea. "If only I had better nets, if only I could catch their amount of fish, then I could truly be happy." His mind was constantly occupied by what he lacked. He had enough, but he wanted more. The simple joy of being on the water, the peace of the sunset, it was all overshadowed by the heavy feeling of envy and ambition. One day an old man arrived in the village. He didn't fish. He didn't own a shop. He simply sat on the sand, mending old nets that no one would ever use again. Elias watched him for days. Finally, curiosity got the better of him. He walked over to the old man, whose hands were slow but steady. "Old man," Elias said, his voice edged with frustration, "how you sit here all day mending nets that won't hold a single fish? Why, shouldn't you be out there getting ahead?" The old man looked up. His eyes were the color of the clear, calm ocean water. He smiled, a soft, deep smile that reached his eyes. "Getting ahead of what, young Elias?" Elias threw his hands up. "Ahead of poverty, ahead of this small life. I want what those men have. I want the big catch, the big boat, the easy life. I want success." The old man nodded slowly. He picked up 2 stones from the sand. One was large, rough and heavy. The other was small, smooth and warm from the sun. "Elias," he said gently, holding up the large stone. "Imagine this is your life right now. You have just enough fish to live. It's solid, dependable." Then he held up the small, warm stone. "Now imagine this is a feeling, the feeling of gratitude for what you already have." He placed the large stone in Elias's hand. It was cold and heavy. "Now tell me, if you spend all your time trying to make this stone bigger, trying to make your catch bigger, where do you keep the feeling?" Elias thought about it. "I keep working until the stone is big enough. Then I'll have time for the feeling." The old man chuckled, a dry, rustling sound like wind through dry leaves. "You have confused the boat for the ocean, Elias. You think getting the big boat will bring you peace. But peace is not the destination. Peace is the only thing that allows you to enjoy the journey." He took the stones back. The difference between the happy man and the restless man is not the size of their catch. It's how they hold the 2 stones. The restless man holds the heavy stone of ambition in both hands, leaving no room for the small stone of gratitude. He handed Elias the small, warm stone. "Go back to your boat, the Hope. Catch what you need. But this time, before you cast your net, simply thank the ocean for the chance to be on the water. Hold the gratitude first." Elias took the small stone. It felt strangely light, yet warm. The next morning, Elias went out as usual. But before he cast his net, he closed his eyes and whispered a thank you to the sun, the water, and his sturdy little boat. He caught his usual amount of fish. Nothing changed on the surface, but everything changed inside him. When he returned, he didn't look at the large trawlers. He looked at the fish he did have, and he felt a true, quiet satisfaction. The heavy knot of envy in his stomach had loosened. He spent the evening laughing with his wife and playing with his children. He still wanted a better life, but the pressure was gone. His ambition was now fueled by joy, not by resentment. He understood the old man's lesson. The time to be happy is not after the big success. The time to be happy is now, with what you have. Elias never saw the old man again, but he kept the small stone, and every time he felt the need to compare his life to others, he would touch that warm stone and remember. The fisherman who found happiness didn't catch more fish. He simply stopped counting the fish in other people's nets. The greatest life lesson is this: true peace begins the moment you become grateful for the journey you are already on.